Hey, we're cooking with gas here on the Jewcast.
Okay, careful using a phrase like that.
This trial is a travesty. It's a travesty of a mockery, of a sham, of a mockery, of a travesty, of two mockeries, of a sham.
Tradition!
Oh, shut up, Carl! Shut your goddamn Jew mouth! You people are why there's war in the Middle East!
Gekakken van Jan.
Nebbig.
Ver poepoepoe.
Vermischt.
Verkakt.
Vertut.
Verstonken.
Fartig.
Exactly.
You what Grammy Hall would call a real Jew.
Jew! Are we Jewy?
I hope so. Hey, everybody. Happy Passover.
Happy Pesach.
This
Still,
is Jonathan Randall here.
what day is it today for the Pesach?
I'm not sure. I stopped counting. I'm not counting at all.
You're not counting?
I'm not counting the days. I'm having bread. I was actually at Katz's Deli last night taking a Gentile for the first time for her to experience the wonders of pastrami, her first pastrami, her first matzo ball
Her
soup.
first pastrami.
Yes, I was the first Jew she made out with. It was very exciting. It was a real night of Jewish learning for this girl and Jewish experiences. Who moved to New York from Arkansas and told me one of her goals was to meet more Jewish people.
Oh, well.
And
check that off the bucket list.
I made all her Jewish dreams happen. So I guess it was chometz, but. They actually had some of their stuff covered up, and I was like, "Oh, is this for Passover?" And he's like, "No, we're just remodeling." They thought it was really funny, but yeah. So I've been eating bread, but still, that was Jewish food.
Did you get the When Harry Met Sally table?
No, we did not get that table.
I'll have what he's having.
Classic line.
Yeah.
But anyways, love that place. So yeah, I'm not sure. We're in the middle. It's Chol HaMoed, right now, and then the last.
You're asking
2 days,
me like I know.
Yeah, that's what it's called. The interim days that you're allowed to do stuff, and not like the holiest days, but they're still part of Passover, where you could drive, but you still can eat the bread because didn't have time to leaven. What about flatbread, by the way? Why can't we eat that? What about pizza? They don't really let that bread leaven.
I don't know. I think it has to be the Jews really were the first people that had to go gluten-free just for that week.
I guess, when you're traveling through the desert, you want to make sure you don't have any problems with gluten.
Yeah, I don't know. Listen, I went to an Easter dinner on Sunday and I had ham, so I'm
jealous.
already. I
saw your picture. It looked really good. I didn't get to go to any Easter dinners. I would have liked to.
It was a pretty big ham.
Was it?
Oh yeah, massive.
Okay. I mean, hey, I like to have some Easter ham or some Easter lamb.
Yeah, well, I had ham only.
Okay, well, I had a lovely time at your parents' Seder. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we had a good time.
That was fun.
I felt like we made it through a fair amount of the ceremony before we just, we didn't really come back to it after the food.
No, after the food, it was everyone's done. It was just we're not finished. I think your dad said something like, "Oh, wait, we got to finish." Everyone else was like, "Yeah, forget that."
Yeah.
But it was very interesting. It was very, very fun. Everyone was very drunk. I tried to pace myself because we had 4 glasses of wine, but you guys were drinking whiskey before the thing even started.
Yeah, we don't mess around.
It was very nice talking to your young cousins and trying to enlighten them because they've been brainwashed that all Palestinians are evil people that hate the Jews like many people, which is what we've discussed and something that I've become very passionate against, that those just aren't true beliefs, and
right.
You can be anti some of the things Israel's doing without hating all Jewish people, and not all Palestinian people hate all Jewish people, and that's just a bad representation of them. So that was nice to spread that knowledge over them.
Yeah.
It was nice to hang out with your cousin James and meet his girlfriend, his new girlfriend, and give him a hard time about treating her nicer. I really enjoyed doing that. I felt like I was a relationship coach at the end of the table for a minute. But I think the most exciting part of the Seder was when your housekeeper's daughter had a fit and started screaming at the mother and stormed out of the house and was yelling "Puta, puta, puta!" Right in the middle of the 4 questions. Why is tonight different than puta, puta, puta? I was this is a fucking Seder right now.
Seriously.
Things just getting
I'm always happy when the drama
Wound
happens
up.
away from the table. That's really what it's all about.
Right?
Yeah.
She took an exodus from your apartment
Oh, yes.
really fast, I'll tell you that much.
Oh boy.
But yeah, that was some good stuff. So yeah, good food. I really enjoyed the green beans and the brisket.
Yeah, the brisket was amazing.
The brisket was very good. And
No brisket left over.
And I was really amazed actually because your father was brought up more religious. So we were talking a little bit. I was brought up in a religious household, and your father likes better the mass-produced matzah boxes.
Yeah.
Where I'm more of a fan of the shmura matzah, which is, I guess, like the craft matzah, the artisanal matzah, you know?
My dad referred to it as cardboard.
I think that tastes so much better. I enjoy it so much more. You guys gave me the rest of your shmura matzah, and I ate every bit of it, and I loved every moment of eating it, and I was making little
Well, what a mitzvah we
sandwiches.
did for you then.
You did.
give
Thank
that
you.
to you. Yes.
Thank you for letting me have a box of shmura matzah that I devoured in 2 days.
Because my dad got it from some, famous, some well-known Rebbe.
Yeah, some Rebbe, I guess, that, has known your family for many years and always gives him this matzah he was telling me about. And
It's fancy when you have to refer to him as a Rebbe and not a rabbi.
okay, yeah. Ooh, that guy. He's a Rebbe.
Yeah, he's not just a rabbi. He's the Rebbe.
That is very, very nice. I'm glad we got his blessed matzah, and he had a nice little note. And, if you follow us on Instagram at American Jew Podcast, you'll have seen a picture of the Jewish crack that Jordan's mom made, which was very good. The toffee chocolate matzah, it was amazing. I was using it as like a utensil to eat the cheesecake that you guys also had. And it felt super fat but super fulfilled, and it was a lovely Seder. Thank you again for having me.
No problem. Glad we look forward to it next year for sure.
Yeah. I know that's what everyone's saying. Like, the theme of it, everything's like next year in Israel. But like, I guess I thought we could just break it down to like next year. Hopefully, things will be better than they are this year. And no matter how good things are, hopefully next year will be better. I don't personally like have a desire to go to Israel during Passover. I mean, I'd be happy to go there again. But
maybe next year in the Ukraine.
Yeah, maybe in the Ukraine with their first Jewish comedian president, who happens to be one of the first Jewish world leaders right now outside of Israel.
Yeah,
pretty amazing.
Outside of Israel, Ukraine is the only other country that has both a Jewish prime minister and president.
Look at us Jews. And I think the story is so amazing because this guy was a comedian. Apparently he was on a TV show about an average guy that became the president. And then life imitates art, and now he actually is the president. It's almost like a little similar to the whole Trump situation, where he kind of was like a celebrity, and he was like in the media a lot, and he threw his hat in. Maybe it was a joke, or he didn't think he was seriously going to win, and people they knew him, they recognized him, they wanted something different, they wanted something new, and he is now the president of Ukraine.
The Ukrainian president. It's pretty exciting. I don't know how religious he is. I don't know if he has kind of, I think, only played up the fact that he's Jewish because he's the only one. I don't know much about his politics, to be honest.
But I mean, I don't know much about Ukraine.
I don't even know if he's funny.
Yeah, I heard he's backed by some Jewish Ukrainian billionaire that had to flee the country because he had some sort of fraud or something, and he moved to Israel. But I guess he gave a lot of money to this comedian and some of his aides or what have you, and helped him achieve this spot. And so I don't know if this guy's gonna be kind of like the puppeteer behind him, but I mean, hey, good, more power to the Jews. We need more Jewish leaders. Bernie Sanders, perhaps.
Well, listen, all I know is that it's a lot of different scapegoats running this year. There's a lot of scapegoats running.
So this week's tour portion, I guess, is where the term scapegoat originates from, right?
That's what I was reading about. Yeah, was that you put all the sins of the Israelites onto a goat and you send it into the wilderness so that none of the sins can be attached to you.
That's pretty good. I like that too. Like, I don't have my sins are a goat roaming around somewhere. So this is where the term scapegoat comes. Yeah, we put the blame on something else. It's somebody else's fault that did it, like this goat that has the sins running around. So that's kind of always interesting, I think, when a phrase that's very popular in the American lexicon, it is derived from the Old Testament, and I just discovered that. I never thought about where the word and the phrase came from.
I feel like there's a lot of Judaism I'm learning throughout this podcast as we go through the different parshas.
Yes, us Jews also created the term scapegoat.
Yeah, it's interesting that it comes up right after the death of Aaron's sons. That God kills them because they didn't follow his rules. They went into the temple without permission.
Right, or they were drunk or something
like that. Yeah. And so he kills the sons and then absolves all the other Israelites of all of their sins by putting them onto a goat.
Yeah, why couldn't they get the goat?
Right? Why can't Aaron? Yeah, Aaron's sons couldn't get.
They
get that goat?
they were an example. So yeah, so God is the goat, and I guess in this week's parsha he's talking about all like the specific ways he wants his sacrifices.
Right.
Like he wants us to worship and serve him, but he wants us to do it in a particular way.
Right.
It's like, oh, I need you to do me a favor, but I need you to do it exactly like this.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a very Jewish thing, actually.
It is very he's very particular.
It's like, hey, you're going to do me a favor, like do it any way you can. I appreciate it. But it's like, no, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to do it this time. I need you to do it this way. I need you to feel like this. I need you to be wearing this, and it's a lot.
You need to wear this and feel this way. This is, you have to.
You know what? You're not feeling the way I need you to feel when you're doing the thing for me that you don't even want to do. So I would love to put my sins on some animals, but I guess I don't have the same perception of sins as, God. There's a lot of things that he thinks are a sin.
Well, then it comes down to Yom Kippur. He also this week's portion also starts talking about Yom, which we have several months to get ready for Yom Kippur.
I know, right? We're still dealing with Passover. Like now they're telling us all about Yom Kippur. So yeah, Yom Kippur is known as the holiest day of the year. And where all you fast and all your sins are forgiven. I guess we don't need to put him on a goat anymore. We just don't need to eat for one day.
If you forgot to put any of your sins on a goat, just don't eat for the next day and you'll be good.
I feel like if I ever see a goat again, I'm just going to be like, got my sins.
Yeah, you don't see too many goats in New York.
No, maybe some sheep. There's some sheep down the street.
I mean, the only goats we ever talk about now is the acronym, the greatest of all time.
And too much.
And there's too many goats,
There's too many. So many people do that. My brother's Facebook stories or Instagram stories, are all like just pictures of LeBron James. It says GOAT or pictures of anything. And it always says GOAT. I'm like, how is everything the freaking greatest of all time has become an extremely overused phrase. So I think it's a sin to use that now. Boom.
Yeah. It's kind of ironic that we put so much of our hopes and dreams into these goats that we should be putting our sins onto and letting them into the wilderness.
Yeah. We shouldn't be worshiping these goats, these modern day golden calves. We should just all strive to be by ourselves the greatest of all time.
Indeed. I'm not a big Yom Kippur guy myself. I don't fast anymore these days.
I don't fast either. Your family is always so kind to invite me to the breakfast, and I feel guilty because I'm like, well, I don't fast, but I love the food that they have there. I'm like, whitefish, yes, and bagels and lox. Like, this is everything good. Like, I'm almost tempted to fast just so I could eat that food.
Right.
Because it is that's the best food.
I do like the breakfast food as well. I'm not, and I'm usually not even a big breakfast guy. Like, I don't eat much in the morning.
Me neither. I usually eat in the afternoon.
Yeah,
which is like a diet apparently. I heard a girl I was dating, she was doing that. Like, she was only going to eat in the afternoons. Apparently it's some diet. I'm like, oh, I didn't even know I'm participating in this diet just because.
Just by chance.
I wake up late and I'm not hungry for a couple hours, but that's how I keep my slim figure.
Yeah, well, you look very svelte.
Thank you. Even though I pigged out at the Seder.
It's weird to me that we're talking about Yom Kippur right after having had such a huge meal.
That's true. It's like, now that you're full, let me tell you, you're going to be fasting. And you're like, oh, it's okay. I'm so full. I need a fast. I need a diet after eating all that bread that's rising in my stomach and I don't have rosin outside of it.
Yeah, I think that I'm ready to eat less. I don't know if I'm going to fast, but I definitely can, need to curb it a little bit.
No, I'm ready to eat some more.
Yeah,
it was funny at your Seder. I took a plate, a bunch of brisket, and your mom's like, "Oh, do you want to take some home?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna be eating it right now. I'm gonna be finishing this," and I did, and it was
there was no brisket to send anybody home with at the end of this meal. This is probably one of the first Seders I've been to where there was almost no food left over.
Wow!
Like, we had some. I took home some charosis and
that's some good. You can make the sandwich.
I brought home some of that stuff, but there was no brisket left over.
Sorry, I ate too much of the brisket.
It wasn't you. We all had a lot. It's disappointing to me that there wasn't more left over, though, because I'm all about the leftovers.
Well, next year in more brisket.
Yeah. This year we celebrated here, and next year we hope to celebrate the following several days.
You know, spring is here. You feel it. It's here in New York. It's really come this week. You know, it is a time of, I guess, renewal. And, you know, understand what Passover is at this point, and Easter and these kind of holidays, these spring holidays. And it's nice. And, you know, hopefully everybody will have an amazing spring, you know, no matter what happened in your winter. But now, you know, the sun is shining, summer's up, coming ahead. And we wish everybody the very best.
I always like the week after Passover. You're sort of coming down from that meal, and you can finally start going outside. It's starting to be spring weather, nice outside and everything like that.
It is very, very nice out. And you know what's funny? You know, after Easter, all the Easter candy went on sale 50%. But after Passover, does Passover food go up? And by the way, no Gentiles are excited about Passover food going half off. But us Jews are super excited about the Easter candy being half off. I was like, Reese's peanut butter eggs, 50% off? Yes, please.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm so Jewish, sometimes I go and I'm like, 50% off. I'll wait a couple days till they get 75% off. I'm like hiding the stuff somewhere that I want to eat.
I don't know if they even keep the matzah on the shelf after Passover. I think they just take it off the shelf. Nobody's buying it.
Really? I guess they're like, hey, it's stale in the first place, so no one cares if it's going to go bad anyways.
Right. Best if eaten before sundown.
Definitely eat up that matzah.
Yes. Well, I hope that you guys have plenty of your own brisket or chorosis to make the sandwiches left over.
Yeah, mix it up. Put some brisket on your choroset. Like, that's a sandwich Hillel wish he invented.
Indeed.
And, we didn't even do the whole Elijah thing, but we hope Elijah made it to your Seder.
I mean, we have a place set for him. He doesn't get a chair.
Okay, yeah.
We had a lot of people.
We ate all the food and we drank all the wine before he got any.
Yeah, I always joke about that, about how, like, that's how you know we've gotten that drunk, is that we've set an extra place at the table. Oh, really? Oh, whatever. That's for Elijah. He can let himself in. That's fine.
And by the end of the night, we're like, we're just like eating Elijah's food,
Yeah.
and drinking his wine. But yeah, we hope everybody had a happy Passover. Spring is here. We hope everything is wonderful for you guys. Please, if you have any questions or there's anything you think we should be discussing, email us at AmericanJewPodcast@gmail.com.
Follow us on all the other social medias at American Jew Podcast, except on Twitter, we're American Jew Pod.
Follow me on Instagram at Jonathan Randall.
You can follow me on Instagram at Beatnik Nudnik. Oi!
Have a good Shabbos and have a good week. We'll be back next week with another Jew-packed episode of American Jew.
I'm excited.
Chag Sameach.
Oh boy.